Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Wayne Morris with WHHI TV.
And I'm your host, Carrie Manning from the Village Spa.
And today we're coming to you from Spring Island. It's a special episode. It's all Spring Island, which we love to do. And we're coming to you from Waterfall Farm, which is right in the heart of Spring Island. And that brings us to our first guest, Suzn Stewart. She's going to be telling us about all the clubs she's involved with.
And then our second guest is Mr. John Strothers. He is the broker in charge here on Spring Island. So make sure that you stay tuned for more 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
843 TV, where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Spring Island comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Port Royal comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
Welcome to 843 TV. We're here today with Miss Suzn Stewart. She's a member out here on the beautiful Spring Island. Thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me this morning.
So we have all kinds of fun things to talk about, but let's start with, how long have you guys lived here on Spring Island, and how did you find out about this? Because it's kind of a hidden gem.
It is a hidden gem. We became members in 2007, and I'd been working for a financial services firm in New York, Morgan Stanley, and all these managing directors kept retiring to this place called Spring Island, and I just knew I needed to find out about it more. Bob Greenhill bought Pine Island. Mark Hawley ran our Managed Futures program. He was here. Bill McMahon came from Fixed Income, and I just thought, there's got to be something there.
They know something you don't.
Right. I need to know about Spring Island. And going along at the same time, I'm a huge fan of Pat Conroy. Prince of Tides is my favorite book of all times, and when I read it, I knew I needed to be in the Low Country.
What better to live here?
Yeah, so we looked all around, and I really thought we'd be at Bray's, and we looked all out St. Helena, we looked all over Ladies Island, thinking deep water, golf course, and we came to Spring Island on a Thursday night, which was a trust talk, and every member came over and introduced themselves to us, talked about Spring Island, and I just knew we'd found our home.
It's a very friendly, inviting place.
It is.
There is an intense sense of community here, and I think that's kind of what sets it apart from everywhere else.
I love my 350-person small town. I love it.
Well, and you were a part of a lot of groups. We were talking earlier. Tell us about all the groups and efforts that you're a part of here in Spring Island.
So volunteerism is very important to our community, and I'm a golfer, so I did make it onto the golf committee and, help head up the golf committee at this point. We did a big renovation on the River House this year, and I'm co-chairman of the River House committee. And then my very special project that I hope we get to talk about later, we started a chicken house earlier this fall. And, there's something to do every single minute, but those are the main projects that I've been involved in.
The golf course, Old Tabby Lynx, is ranked pretty highly, and can you talk a little bit about that and how it got that ranking? And didn't we do a renovation here about two years ago?
That's right.
So they built the golf course about 20 years ago, and Arnold Palmer is the architect, and it had just gotten a little smooth around the edges, and in 2011, 2012, they felt like we needed to raise some money and do a refresh. They didn't want to make it longer. They didn't want to make it harder. They just wanted to make it less resorty and to let the golf course show off its natural beauty. Obviously, the investment paid off very well. Before we did the refresh, we were ranked 167th in worldwide modern golf courses. And after the refresh, we're now 84th. So the people that rank our golf course, certainly think that it was money well invested.
Yeah, it was.
What we did.
It's an amazing golf course. I love playing that thing, yeah.
The natural beauty, especially coming in the back, I mean, when you're seeing all the views of the water, I mean, it's second to none. And that's saying a lot, considering how many nice golf courses there are around here.
Now, and because we are such a green community, and you don't want a golf course to spoil the natural beauty. But if you look at the 16th green, we had to take down some vegetation, but it's like it's an infinity green that just goes totally out into the Port Royal Sound. And it is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. So we mentioned the clubs and groups that you're involved in. You also have some inter-club agreements with some clubs around the state. How does that work?
So there is a Low Country Women's Golf Association that we are a member of, and we play all over the Low Country. We go to Hague Point, we go to Sun City. There are tons of golf courses in there. When you start in the Low Country Women's Association, you have to start in the bottom and earn your way out. So after 2 years, we finally won our 4th division, and we'll now start in the 3rd division. But we'll play against 9 clubs. We'll host once and play at their clubs throughout the season. And this is January, February, into mid-March. And it's a very competitive, very fun group. You get to meet women golfers from all over the Low Country and play, obviously, at some great golf courses.
That's awesome.
So we all know that everybody has a ton of fun out here. I don't think anybody is bored out here. There's plenty of things to do. But talking about fun activities and competition for casual and serious golfers, what is the Wine and Wedge?
Well, we think it should be called the Wedge and Wine because when we played, we thought we were going to be having wine while we wedged, but we had the wine after we wedged. But
it's probably a better...
Bill Sampson is our director of golf, and he has something for everybody. We have uber competitive events, and then we have fun events like the Wine and Wedge, where they take all 18 holes and play them from 100 yards and in. And you only need 3 clubs to do it. Well, that brings up a whole nother thing. We have a 3-club challenge where we play 18 holes with only 3 clubs in our bags from tee to green. We have a 4th of July Flag Day tournament. We have a Thanksgiving Day tournament. The Women's Golf Association is 88 women that have a very in-depth season. And we have a Carolina Cup where we compete against Yeamans Hall and go back and forth every year. So there really is something for everybody, for the thumpers, the beginning golfers.
That would be me.
And for our lowest handicaps that come in at 1 or 2 on their handicap. And people.
It makes sense because everybody that is living here was successful at some point in their life, and they were competitive, I'm sure, in business or art or whatever they were doing. So having this competitive outlet while you're still here is great.
Right. And with the type A behaviors, we do have to pull back and remind ourselves
This is fun.
that we can have fun on a Wine and Wedge.
Well, we want to hold you for one more segment if you have time.
Sure.
So we'll be right back with a second segment of 843 TV.